The San Antonio Spurs have made some great moves in the offseason and are set to make the playoffs for the first time in the 2020s. That's what I said in August of last year. What else did I say? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports, TGIF. And I'm reacting to a more recent take in today's look back with TSR. I don't know what to call this. This one is from August 25th of 2025, and one of you suggested that I did a reaction to this. I'm pretty sure in this video I talk about how Detroit turned around a bunch of losing seasons and became a playoff team, and that we can do it too. But what I'm really curious is which players that I expect to break out last season. Did I think Jeremy Sohan would be starting? I don't know. Let's go ahead and get the earphones on. Let's drop the thumbnail, and then we got to move TSR up because prior TSR is right there. That's a good-looking guy. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's get into it. Hope this is embarrassing. Spurs' upcoming season is so close, but yet it feels so far away. Well, that hasn't changed. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. I hope you had a great weekend. And I caught an article from Air Alamo. I guess I did this on Monday. Oh, Air Alamo. I know you guys are a fan. This morning. Yeah, I know Air Alamo, but I thought we made some good points that I wanted to share with you. So without further ado, let's get into the article. And as you can see, their title matches pretty much the thumbnail. If the Detroit Pistons can take a leap, so can our San Antonio Spurs. And they did. The Pistons were last in the league 2 seasons ago with a record of 14-68. 14-68. They were the laughingstocks of the league. And my goodness, they sure were. We were never the laughingstocks in the league, though. We had some rough years, but as soon as we got Wemby, even though the Spurs went 22-16 Wemby's rookie year, we were never to the level of Detroit. Wasn't there a game where the fans were booing the team so much and yelling, chanting, "Sell the team," that Cade Cunningham literally looked like he was going to cry in that game? Never got that bad. I don't think it did. Not only were they losing a lot, but they were losing in the lottery too. I believe 2 times, correct me if I'm wrong, they were the worst team in the NBA, and instead of getting the first overall pick, they dropped to number 5 both times. I think that did happen twice. Bad during the season and the offseason. Anyway, 1 season later, they went 44-38. That was last season. And bypassed the play-in tournament portion of the playoffs altogether by finishing the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. I said it. So for anyone telling us, or Alamo, TSR, that a 50-win season is out of the question solely because the Spurs only won 34 games last year, they would like you to take a look at the Detroit Pistons' trajectory. So it should be noted, a lot of people did not think our Spurs could win 50 wins last year. I said 50 wins in playoffs. Admittedly, I did not say we're making it to the NBA Finals. That was just crazy, the jump the Spurs made. But a lot of people had us playing team, 41-41 or something. And what do the Pistons have that San Antonio doesn't? Their best player is Cade Cunningham, who is a good player, absolutely. And the Spurs have Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, we do. You're building a franchise, Spurs fans. Sure, they'll be biased here, but are you building a franchise around Cade Cunningham or Wemby? Non-Spurs fans are picking Wemby. Like Air Alamo, I'll take Wemby. Except for the haters. There's no other star on the Pistons right now. Just a lot of players who complement each other well, which is a good thing, which is what we want the Spurs to do. We want players that complement Wemby. And that's what the Spurs did. They made the moves in the offseason. And this is a good point, we might also as well include De'Aaron Fox on the summer acquisition list, since he was compromised when he got to the team. He had the injury on his shooting hand and barely played over a month before being... So I guess in this article, they're considering De'Aaron Fox more of an off-season move, a summer move, than a mid-season move, which we did at the All-Star break because he was injured when he came to the team and played, I think, about a month, and then he was done. Shut down. I believe he played in 17 games. The front office made the right moves to add around their franchise star, so he had to make everything he needed to lead this team to the playoffs next season. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And it did. Absolutely agree the Spurs make the playoffs next season. But let's take a look at Detroit real quick. They talked about Detroit's trajectory, but didn't really dig into it, but I did. The last 6 years for the Pistons, from oldest to most recent, 20 wins. 20 wins. 23 wins. Consistency. 17 wins. 14 wins, so they're actually getting worse. And then maybe the biggest surprise in the NBA last season, 44 wins. The Pistons were an absolute disaster with multiple coaching changes over the last 3 years. Last season, 44 wins in the playoffs. That's a plus 30 win jump from 2023 to 2024. Am I guessing a plus 30 win jump for the Spurs coming up? That's my thought. My brain's saying I'm guessing about a plus 30 win. Well, no, I don't see. We went 34 games. Plus, I'm going to say plus 20 win. 30. I don't think I predicted we were going to win 64 games. I think I'm going to go with a plus 21 in this video. Why our Spurs can't make a similar jump. Now, I'm not saying the Spurs are going to jump 30 wins. We're not winning 64. I don't think we're winning 64 games. Close. I would be ecstatic if the Spurs did win 64 games next season, but let's be optimistic but also realistic. And I think 50 wins is realistic. And I know some of you are going to point this out immediately. You might have already typed it in the comments. TSR, the Western Conference is much tougher than the Eastern Conference. I agree, and it'll be even much tougher next year with the Eastern Conference taking a step back with so many injuries to key players like Jason Tatum and Tyrese. All right, that one didn't age well because the Eastern Conference is the NBA champions in the New York Knicks. Some teams may have taken a step back, but overall, they're champions. Halliburton and Damian Lillard, who's no longer in the Eastern Conference, but we don't want to forget him. Now let's also look back at our Spurs last season. 34 wins. Yep. With a massive early season coaching change. And not just a coaching change where some teams, the head coach gets fired for poor performance. This was a coaching change due to a life-threatening medical issue to their head coach. That's got to be traumatic to the players, to the coaches, to the team, the franchise, to the fans. That was a shocker. And not in a good way. Tell him, TSR. He missed almost half the season. And we don't know just how much he was being affected in February. Probably all of February and probably a good portion of January, I would think. Dr. TSR now doing the medical thing. I think I'm not a doctor. There's no Dr. TSR here, but you got to think someone January who wasn't feeling well. To see his MVP level production in December and then to see it kind of drop off throughout January, yeah, I think he was being affected. He's going to be in 100. Damn, I just hit puberty when I said that. 100% this season. And we think he is. It looks like he is. Looks like he's bulked up a little. He is 100%. But to something we've been wanting. Don't bulk up too fast. Not too fast. Put some weight on. Put some girth on. So you can, get banged around in the paint too much. And it looks like he's doing that slowly but surely. And De'Aaron Fox coming into the season looks like going to be 100% healthy. I know I had the little scare with. Nope. He was not 100% healthy when he entered the season, TSR. He came into the season with an injury and missed, 7 to 10 games? I don't remember the number, but he was not healthy coming into the season, and that was a disappointment. But I think he's going to be fine. The team, they'll have an offseason together. The team will have an offseason together. The Spurs have added great depth with their bigs. That was one of the big things last season, no pun intended, that the Spurs needed big man depth. If you remember, go right before the All-Star break. Victor Wembanyama, Zach Collins, Charles Bassey. Bassey, I believe, was already dinged up at that point, so he wasn't playing much. And then when is Bassey not dinged up? Me? He pretty much didn't play at all after that. So take him out, and then Zach Collins gets traded. Irony. Okay. That leaves just Wemby, who was then shut down after the All-Star break, which left nobody out of that crowd. We had Mamu, had to sign Biyombo. Credit to him for doing a great job off the center wherever he was. The Spurs have fixed that, bringing on Luke Kornet, who I think is going to be an absolutely fantastic and fun to watch backup, and probably going to share some time on the court with Wemby. Olenek, I think, is going to be a very solid backup, and Megan. No, Olenek was not a solid backup at all. That one, that sucked that he gave us nothing. Get more minutes than I expect. Also, like other things they've done on the roster, they've, I hate to say it, but trimmed the fat by finally moving on from Blake Wesley and Malachi Branham. I sincerely wish it worked out with both those players. Still do wish. First round picks in 2022 along with Jeremy Sohan, but it just didn't work. And the Spurs decided to finally move on. The Spurs appear to put a fantastic coaching staff around Mitch Johnson, who's going to be in his first full season as the Spurs head coach. I personally can't see why. By the way, that comment applies to this season too. It looks like we put a fantastic coaching staff around Mitch as he's entering his first I was entering full year number 2, but sort of, year number 3 is coaching the Spurs. He wins, barring injury, is unrealistic for some fans. A lot of you agree, TSR 50 wins, yep. Some of you are like, nah, 44. Some of you have said a lottery team again, which, if you think the Spurs are going to be a lottery team again, then I understand your question marks around Mitch Johnson. I do. I get that. But are you expecting...
Question marks are still there from a lot of you.
Like one of the great players that's behind me here, the one next to him you can't see in Tim Duncan, you're not expecting him to join that echelon of great Spurs sometime in the future? Do you think De'Aaron Fox is just that bad?
Well, that should be interesting.
He had obviously little success in Sacramento, but you don't think the 1-2 punch of Wemby and Fox is not going to be successful? Do you not believe in Area 51?
That's not our future 1-2 punch. Wish it was. It's not the long-term 1-2 punch for the Spurs.
Getting any better? Wemby and Stephon Castle? And yes, I also understand there's other question marks on the team. Keldon Johnson, Devin, but we've talked about that at length ad nauseum. I think this is a 50-win team. Anything less than 50, I'll be disappointed. Now, if it's like 47 or 48, I'll be, okay, fine. We were close to 15. That's not going to be a disappointment. But if it's sub 500, then I would call that season an absolute bust, and I would be shocked if that happens again. It's been 6 losing seasons in a row, 6 years without the playoffs.
Sure has.
I see both those streaks ending this season. What do you see happening? We talk.
Reggie, you know what? What do some of you guys say here? Can't compare to East to the West. We're definitely not a lottery team. Oh, you guys can't see that. I gotta move that over to the right a little bit. Go Spurs go. Maybe 55 plus wins. Who called the NBA Finals? Did anybody call the NBA Finals? Uber Cult had the Spurs as a 4th seed. Okay. $15, 7th or 8th seed. Spurs can be in the playoffs. All right, so it looks like you guys 42 to 50 were. It's a 50-win team and 60-win team if you didn't join the team. Never going to join the team. 46 and 36. All right, so you guys agreed we would be better. 43 to 46. So the general consensus is from the comments, and of course I'll pin the original video if you want to take a look at it, that we would be better and would win. We'd be over 500 and probably be a playoff team. I was hoping I'd go more into the players and development in regards to what will Stephon Castle look in year number 2. Of course, I may have did that in a different video. Expectations for Jeremy Sohan. The only players I really talked about were Luke Kornet and Kelly Olynyk. And Kornet was a good backup. Obviously struggled in the playoffs. Kelly Olynyk was not a good backup. You could argue the Spurs didn't use him right. Whatever it may be, he just never panned out for us. But it's fun doing these. I'll probably do one of these a week. I guess maybe it'll be my Friday video if there's no other news. And I do want to keep doing videos like this through August and September. And I have a few other original ideas and even a baseball type video that popped in my head today. A subject that really interests me, and it's going to focus on 5 players. It'll be one of those little kind of documentary type videos, but in this format. And yeah, I want to keep the content rolling over July, August, September, and more importantly, have fun. And hopefully you guys are too with these trip down memory lane, I guess that we could call it. So drop a comment down below. Looking back at this time last year in August, did you believe the Spurs were at least a 50-win team and a playoff team? Did you believe they could make a turnaround like Detroit? Or were you in that category of Mitch Johnson stinks, they're still going to be a lottery team, or they're going to be a 500 team? But now the years passed, looking back, where were you? Because that's all I don't know. That's all I got. There's supposed to be a question there. That's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a great weekend. Thank you, and as always, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Good.